Hello and welcome to PNAA News with your host Panda. We keep you updated with the latest news about the streams and everything square the world. Today with these stories. Updating to 1.8, yes 1.8, what broke, what is fixed already. Mushroom Farm, the animal rights conflict, and culture, everything you need to know about the new record farm. The world got updated to 1.8 and as expected a lot of things broke. The nether portals turned partially or fully off and voluntary helpers, really just this guy here, turned them back on. However, partially turned off portals stayed this way, so don't be surprised if you see them, they are just a leftover of the 1.8 update. The following things got fixed after updating to 1.8 already. The Oracle had an issue where the dragon egg was not returned to the center position after pressing the button. That was fixed by adding a repeater delay. The wither cage in the end had an issue due to the changed hitbox height of the wither. So in 1.8 the wither is only 3.5 blocks instead of 4 tall, and his suffocation point got lower, so if there's no fence below he might suffocate in the bedrock he's trapped in. So we added a fence below the wither, and also the wood farm had another issue with the damaging, which could potentially cause the wizard to escape, so the damaging mechanism is now based on a zero tick, so that the wizard cannot get out anymore, and that seems to be really stable, so that's good. Also on a side note, the wood farm in the end is finally fixed after the wizard attack back in episode 19, when the wizard escaped out of the automatic obsidian farm. That's not really a 1.8 fix, but however, it's something that's finally fixed. And due to changes in the space-time continuum, the grass in the mushroom farm needed to be replaced with mycelium to make it work again, so that's also done already. In the following you will see a recording of the reconstruction of the mushroom farm. Enjoy! It is hoped that with these renovations the farm will keep working for a long time. Not fixed after the 1.8 update are the following things. The ice farm doesn't work anymore as water only freezes higher up in certain biomes now. The village breeding cell in the end is broken due to villagers needing to eat in order to reproduce. However, the village breeding cell is not needed as much as before anymore, as in 1.8 also the trading changed, and mass breeding cells are not needed in the way they were needed before. Also broken is the peaceful mob switch in the end, as chunks now unload every 45 seconds when they are not loaded by the player, so proper chunk loaders need to reload chunks, and that's not implemented in the peaceful mob switch yet. This is it from the 1.8 update so far. We will of course keep you informed on future updates like 1.9. In other news, after our Oracle question in stream, the mushroom farm is under heavy criticism for violating animal rights. As you can see from our news helicopter, protesters built a border all around the mushroom farm and the island, blocking it off and effectively blocking the farm. The ones responsible for the farm turned it off for now and promised better conditions for the animals in future. To the cultural news. A skeleton by the name Mr. Bones opened a record farm near the outdoor test area. It consists out of a simple water stream mob farm and Mr. Bones with his high quality boat trying to shoot an iron golem and producing records in the process. Recent streams have already shown a really positive result to the music added by Mr. Bones records. And this is it from PNAA News. Now to Snowball with the weather forecast. Hello guys, and finally welcome back to Panda Survival. I hope I was able to sum everything from the streams up in the little news show there. I like this border, like the view from the elevator, it's awesome. It was really worth to finish it, it's just like border all around the Mushroom Island. But yeah, today's plan. Today we want to try something, which is probably in the title of the video anyway, so I don't know why I'm teasing. But we want to try to generate endercrystals. Or rather, we want to take creating endercrystals to the next level, I guess. So a while back we did the spawner project where we generated 4 skeleton spawners using back then the Cobra made by Dan, which is like a flying machine. Well, it's not really a flying machine because you still need to push it from the back, but pre-slime blocks it was the closest you could get to a flying machine. And yeah, after that Rich MC used the same method to generate endercrystals in the end, which are generated in the same way, yeah. And here you can see that's what we used back then to push this thing out. By now we got real flying machines with slime blocks, so we don't need to have a station anymore from where we push it. And I'm way too excited. So yeah, let's first get into the explanation part a bit, because I think when we did the spawners I went over it a bit fast maybe. So as I said, for endercrystals it works the same as for spawners, and yeah, so it does for trees and mine shafts and witch huts and all the other things. Like they roughly generate in the same way. I will manage. Ah, there we go. Wasn't even too bad. So they roughly generate in the same way, and yeah, I dug out like 4 chunks here and marked like the borders. And also you see there's no grass and no flowers on these chunks, and that's to demonstrate how the generation thing works. As I said, it's the same for spawners, trees, dungeons, I just said dungeons, endercrystals, and all the other things which seem to be in the world afterwards, like villages as well. And flowers and all that stuff is added later. So yeah, the basic way the world generation works is if we get close to a chunk, like let's say the chunk we're standing in, then the things we see at the moment generate. Also, no ores are generated. Like I will have to jump up again. Like there are no ores in it, and it's just the plain blocks, like just the stone, the dirt, and yeah, the water of the oceans also. Oh, that went fast. And I think the grass is already placed, but all these decorative things like the little lakes or trees are not added to the chunk as it generates. That is added a little later. So when 4 chunks generate next to each other, like we have it over here, like one chunk here, one there, and now if that chunk is generated and all the other chunks are loaded at the same time, then the chunks will get populated, which is the second part of world generation. And the world population will happen in this inner marked thing here, like right in between the 4 chunks. We have this orange border, and in there it will populate the world. So if these chunks are loaded all together for the first time, then it will place all the flowers here and all that stuff. And you can see it also places it a bit out here. I mean, that's not how the world generation would do it, but still it would place them a little bit to the outside. And that's also the reason why it's done like that. Because, for example, imagine a tree grows. A tree can grow over chunk borders, right? We could have a tree here, and when we grow it, it grows. Well, this one stayed in this chunk, but it could grow into the other chunk here. And for it to do so, the other chunk needs to be loaded, and therefore only when 4 chunks are loaded at the same time, it generates or it populates the area in between with trees and flowers and dungeons and also endercrystals. But let's get back to the chunks not being generated, and imagine instead of walking there and generating them, we push in a flying machine first. So in this flying machine we just moved in a few dirt blocks here. But of course we could have moved in a spawner cage to generate a spawner, or a platform out of endstone to generate an ender crystal. Well, not in the overworld, but you get the point. So yeah, now we just have placed a few blocks here, like a few dirt blocks or grass blocks, without actually entering the area. So these two chunks are still unloaded for us. But now if these two chunks on the side load, what will happen is that the game starts to place its things again. So it starts to like grow grass all over the area, and not only here, also down there, but I want to stay up here now. And then in the example before, we had a tree growing right down there. So I assume for trees it will just pick the highest grass block to grow on. So now the game will pick this block and grow a tree right here. So it may not look very impressive to let a tree grow 3 blocks higher, but you could instead also make a tree grow which didn't grow at all otherwise. Like if there was stone instead, then the tree might have not generated, or if we would have pushed in stone, we might have prevented the tree from generating the other way around. But yeah, that's how it basically works. We just push blocks in which affect the generation, and in the context of trees, we can use grass blocks. For spawners, we need to have a certain pattern, which I showed back when we did that thing. And for ender crystals, it's actually pretty simple. We just need a huge floor out of endstone, because when an ender crystal generates, which has like a 1/5 chance to happen per chunk, or per this 4x4 chunk center, it picks a random block in that area, and then picks a random size, I think 3 to 5, or well, like a radius. And I don't have obsidian now, so I will just use slime blocks. Now if it would pick this spot, and let's say the smallest size, which would be an obsidian tower, which is a 3x3, then before it generates, it would check all around this block if the floor is endstone. So all the blocks below the tower, all the blocks below the slime blocks here would be endstone. If it picked a bigger size, like I don't know how exactly they look, but probably something like this, all the blocks below this size or this pattern would have to be endstone. And yeah, that's pretty much all. It just picks the highest endstone block and then looks if all the blocks where the tower would stand are endstone. Or like, not where the tower would stand, but on the layer where the block was picked. Like it picks the highest block here. And now if this block was higher, let's say we had something like this here. It picks this block, so it picks the highest one, and then it would fail because there's air here. And like one air block down. So we want a flat surface out of endstone. And yeah, that's the basic idea. I got together with Ground and Redstone Spire, and we made a really awesome flying machine. I hope it will all work out as planned. Oh no, that's a bad sign, isn't it? Saying that and then rain. Oh well, no thunderstorm at least. So yeah. We built a really nice flying machine, and it basically just has an engine like every flying machine, and then only uses this mechanic of pushing a piston into a powered position. That's like all it uses. But it has some like, it has no trickery to it or so, but it has some components which have special uses. But I think the best way to explain it is if we just build it up first, or rather build it up already, to be honest. I'm just recording afterwards. So if we just build it, go to the build up part, and yeah, check what components are there and how it works. Welcome to the past. Don't mind the lower XP levels, the repair tools and all that stuff. We're actually in a backup at the moment because, as I said, I built up the flying machine already, but I want to show you what resources I used. And yeah, this is the past. We time traveled. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, we have like 2.5 chests full of cobblestone. These are just to make a half slab we can stand on. You will see it in the time lapse, so I don't fall into the void constantly. Then we have quite a few slime blocks, like 1.5 double chests. I actually built a small slime farm not long after the last episode and had it running every so often. So that's where we got all the slime blocks from. And then we have 18 stacks redstone blocks, 18 stacks snow, and 18 stacks pistons for the flying machine. I didn't end up using all the resources, but I wanted to have some extra, and it was enough what I have here. And yeah, in this chest I just have some miscellaneous stuff like leaves and ladders, which are really useful for flying machines. When you build them in survival, you can climb around in the flying machine by stacking up with leaves and ladders. And as soon as the flying machine starts, it will just destroy all these blocks. So you don't have to worry about removing them again. I didn't end up using it much, but it is a nice idea if you build huge flying machines in survival. And of course torches to prevent Endermen from flying. Same deal, the torches just get removed once the machine starts. So yeah, let's get back to the future and enjoy the time lapse of me building this monstrosity. And we are in the future. And now I got distracted again. I mentioned it earlier, the wither cage needed fixing. We now have a fence below the wither so he doesn't suffocate. And the other thing I just briefly mentioned is before we had a cobble generator up there pushing down, and now instead we have a cobble generator down here. Let me just turn it on to show you what the difference is. Actually, I just need to turn on the tree farm. I connected the levers finally. So you can see that cobble generator is here, pushes a block over, and this block gets 0 ticked down. And this makes this thing finally safe again, because since the peaceful switch broke and there are endermen around here, the wizard sometimes can try to fly up, and I think he manages to break block 36 there, but he somehow gets out on top when that happens. And to prevent that from happening, we have a 0 tick here, because then the block jumps from being a solid block here into being a solid block below there. And that works really stable. Yeah, it's really just like budding the piston at the same time updating it. And yeah, it's powered by the block. Oh, I should be careful with the lava here. But yeah, enough distraction. Let's get to the really awesome thing. And I have to say, really big thanks to Redstone Spire. There's so many cool concepts that he participated in coming up with, or just plainly came up with. Like, for example, the main idea behind this machine is that you build it up once and can generate ender crystals whenever you want with it. So apparently I didn't place the boats yet, but let's do this. Of course, I have no boats around. Well, there will be boats later on here to let you ride it, and yeah, back here, this small part down here is the engine. It's like a piston engine, which is a little slower. We have a sticky piston here, normal piston on this side, and then normal piston here. And I think also a normal piston there, so just one sticky piston. But it causes this. Yeah, it's also normal piston. This one is sticky. Yep. It causes the engine to be a little bit slower, and yeah, it just triggered the engine, but it doesn't matter because we got the furnace there blocking it off, so it doesn't start accidentally in situations like this. But yeah, then we got this this long piston pushing line going up front. So and also like this line here, which is just to add delay. Like it's when the engine moves forward, this moves forward, and this, and all the way around, and this up to here, and then it moves the player forward, which will be sitting here. The delay is needed so that your distance to the front of the machine is the right one, because you load the chunks, and the machine always needs to be as far ahead of you as is needed to you not loading the chunk too early. Like the machine needs first to prepare the blocks in there, and that's why there is all this delay here. But let's get to the really interesting part, to the front of the machine. So you can see it's just repeating the pushing here and repeating it. Just noticed we need to remove the village building cell or parts of it for the machine to fly through. But yeah, that will be no problem. So it moves forward and forward and forward. And then up front here, it splits up. And you can see there's a lot of delay pistons here again, because all these parts need to be at the same delay. And yeah, it's basically 5 times the same flying machine in front. And the splitting part here is just to trigger all these parts at the same time. Let's just get to one of them. Let's do the one on the side here, so we maybe at least got one side, which is the jump boost is still there. That's cool. I put up 2 jump boost beacons before building, and wasn't sure if I removed them already. So on this side we have at least one side where there's no other flying machine, where you see that it's just cut off. And yeah, you can see here now. This is the top of the machine. Below it we have something. Yeah, basically you see it over here. It's a built in, but this piston moves this slime block when it gets moved forward, and moves this slime, which moves this redstone block, which moves the slime block, which then moves this line of blocks. And that's the basic thing that's used all the way on the top. Like over here we have the same. This piston gets moved forward, then moves this slime block, this redstone block, and the slime block in here. And that then moves 9 blocks here. And yeah, that's something Ground came up with. And we have that going on all below here, and then the front parts need to push first, like below. Yeah, there you see it. Below there is the same pattern again, and the front parts need to push first, and then the back part, so that the space is free where space is free where the back parts push in. And it's a bit tricky to get all the delays done, but really all that is built below here with the slime blocks is pushing a piston in a powered position, which then moves another component which pushes pistons into powered positions till to the top where it moves the blocks. But let's get to the logic of this thing. You can see we have this pattern here where it goes like out a bit more every 16 blocks or so. And then goes further in. And the reason for that is, as I said, when a 4x4 of chunks generates, then the ender crystals generate. So we want to avoid the 4x4 of chunks generating till we got all the blocks in position. And if I open the debug screen, you can see that right here we are at a double chunk border. Like one chunk border is here, where it jumps from 0 to 15 in this coordinate. And the other one is alright, now it is correct. I was a bit confused there. You can see now it is at a chunk border from 0, 0 to 15, 15, here and here. You probably can't see my mouse, but yeah, this is a double chunk border. Like there's one chunk going here, one chunk here, and then this empty gap is another chunk. I just forgot to place blocks here, so that's fixed now. And then we have the same thing over here. Like this is one chunk, this is one chunk, and then we have one chunk left out here. And the reason for the left out chunks is that when the thing pushes in, the left out chunks are not loaded. These chunks here are loaded, and this chunk is loaded, and these chunks back here are loaded anyways by the player. But this left out chunk is not loaded till all the blocks are moved in, and then we have this little snow hammer in there, like a part of the flying machine pushing into this chunk. And that will then cause the chunk in between to load, and cause the ender crystals to generate. And then they generate in between the 4 chunks on the endstone here, and have like 3/4 of the area filled out with endstone. Of course, there's a chance that it still fails, but yeah, filling the last area in would be really, really difficult, because you would have to move in from different sides. So which just stick to the 3/4 thing, and that's it pretty much. To prevent the head part here, like this part back here is loaded by the player, but the head part here is just loaded by pushing into the chunk. And to prevent that from getting stuck on the 45-second unloading cycles, we have a pusher down there, and also some pushers in there, which move in blocks from the loaded chunks into this chunk every time a piston triggers in there. And that causes the chunk to reload again in case it should get unloaded at the wrong time. And that's also a nice idea by Spire. Like this pushing stuff in is an idea by Spire, really, really great, because that was an issue before, that it could get stuck, but now it seems to be really stable. We tested it a lot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We should let the flying machine move one block before we start the whole thing. And I have the feeling I maybe should go over the whole process of how this thing works again, but from on top. So this is a flying machine from on top, and the player loads these chunks. And then, when the flying machine moves forward, the front part also loads these chunks, because pistons move in there and they get loaded. And yeah, then when all these blocks are placed, like all the endstone blocks are in position at the chunk border as they are right now, then the little hammers, like the little snow block flying machine parts down there, load these chunks as well. And when all these chunks are loaded, then we clearly have a 2x2 of chunks loaded next to each other. And so the areas in between them can get populated, and ender crystals can get generated there. And as there are the endstones of the flying machine in there, they will have a really high chance of generating right in these spots. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There we got our ender crystal generator. So we just moved the flying machine by one block, and you just saw something really weird happening here. The snow block jumped out and dropped as items, just on random update ticks. I was really confused when I saw it happening for the first time, but by now I can explain it. So what is happening is snow blocks are actually supposed to melt, which is really shocking for someone who built like pretty much everything out of snow. So yeah, the thing is, you know how snow layers melt when the light level is higher than 11? Snow blocks have this exact same thing to them. And yeah, when we move the snow blocks far enough in the unloaded chunks, there's another one which popped out, like we do here, then we cause a light glitch, which causes light level 15, or, well, not 15, but I think 13 inside the blocks, because we had the torches on top of it. So, yes, there's light level 13 inside the snow block. Usually it would be 0 because it's a solid block, but due to light glitch it's 13, and so the block can melt. I really hope they never fix this well, bug that snow blocks don't melt, because otherwise this world is screwed. Yeah, interesting discovery. I have to be careful to remove all torches before we move it again, and place all snow blocks that popped out. And also, I think I missed a few redstone blocks here and there. I already went through before, and oh, there's another one. Went through before and placed like 10 more redstone blocks, which I had missed before. So I'm sure I missed more. It was just the ones I saw. But the nice thing is when you move the machine 1 block forward, you can see where it has problems. Let's see, it looks alright here, I think. There's more. I will have to place the snow blocks later. Oh, there's one missing. Actually, we can do that now. It actually looks alright. I don't see any not moved parts now. The nice thing with the torches is also, when I see torches inside the machine somewhere, I know that something is wrong. And all the torches popped off here. The light glitches are visible, though. Like everywhere where there's light here, that's all due to the light glitches, which also cause the snow to be able to melt. But yeah, we'll double check the whole thing, and then we can finally fly it out. Oh, look at this! Up there, we got the first ender crystal. It works! It works! So let's fly till we are there, and yeah, then we can check it out. I'm smiling so much right now. Look at this. How many do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's one behind. 5, 6, 7, 8. I think one generated. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Wow, that's crazy. It's working crazy good. And yeah, the really cool thing about the machine is we can anytime just place a furnace here, stop it, and get ender crystals back. And when we want to continue, we just start it again. So we built this machine up once, and whenever we need ender crystals, we can just go for it and let this machine fly, and we get more. Oh, I didn't think one thing through. What if I get out of the boat and fall into the void? Oh man. Okay. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. In the worst case, I get ender pearls and can try to save myself. But so the enderman on this thing are a bit annoying. Oh wow, look at this. Ender crystal heaven. Whoa. I think we should stop here and just bring the first one back and... Easy good. Ooh. Okay, let's stop. So we place the furnace there and don't go out until the last bit flying stopped. So, okay, ender pearls ready. Ah, okay, landed in a good position. Okay, there's one. I brought leaves. Let's get up there and get it. Didn't really think through too much what flying machine we use to get it back and stuff like that, but we'll manage somehow. So there's our ender crystal, and let's count this through again. It's a little hard to see there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Or did I count this one double? Ah, it doesn't really matter. It's crazy, so many. I want to fly it a bit more, but before we should bring at least one ender crystal back. So let's try this. F3 and B to see the hitbox. So I think we can just push it back from here. Let's try it. So we need... Oh no, look at the enderman below. Because the flying machine is not... I mean, we see the hitboxes of them now, but... Whoa, because the flying machine is the only spot where they can spawn here. Like, that's, yeah, that's the enderman farm effect there. So we need a solid block to push the enderman. Then we need a slime block here to push that solid block, and we will need a redstone block on top. We will need at least one sticky piston. Let's make that. And yeah, place this one here, a redstone block there, and then we will need the sticky piston facing right this way. Yeah, I hope it will work out. Normal one here and the redstone blocks there, and then we also want to fly back ourselves to stop the thing at the right time. Place a boat there. I think that should work. And let's get a water bucket to update it. Get into the boat, and we can update it from here. Okay. Okay. No, that was ender pearls, not the water bucket. Why doesn't this work? Oh, this piston of course needs to update, so we need to place this one here. No, the boat is glitching. Okay. Okay, I'm really afraid to fall down here. When I update it now, it will double trigger, like it will trigger both of them. Yeah. Oh, okay. I guess we have to remove the blocks below then. That's a shame. Okay, that was the first ender crystal. Well, it's a bit sad, but it's not too much of a loss. We got a lot of them now. So I would say we just keep on flying till we find another one which is directly on the center pass, and then bring that one back and remove the blocks below first. I didn't test these things before starting, so yeah. we learn. Okay, let's get down again. I guess we can just use water right here. It should also get rid of most of the Endermen. Then get the water back again. And hope that we can land down there somehow. Oh, if we fly another one back, we might run into the tower that's here. Oh well, we will have to figure that out then. I should have brought a pumpkin, I just noticed. That would have been really useful. Okay, let's be careful around here. So, need to go over here. Kick this Enderman down. Mine this furnace again. And get back into the boat. Uh-oh, if the water gets here to the boat, then could mean trouble. Flying machine seems to be stable enough to get through the water. Ah, the engine crashed. Okay. That is not a big deal, I don't think. Ooh. I think we just need to kickstart it again. Or actually it will kickstart itself when the water is done. Okay. Let's get it in position and just wait. Whew, okay, let's try to get this one back. A lot more generated, but yeah, we got enough for now. We didn't even manage to get the first one back. So, yeah, let's see if that works. Alright, sorry for the epileptic disco lights. That's Minecraft, not me. Let's get another ender chest out of here, put the pickaxe back in so we don't lose it. Yeah, this time removed all the blocks. And, oh, I also need another boat. Okay, let's place that down there and a new boat. So, water bucket to update it. Ah. Okay, that didn't. Saved it. Okay, let's hope that this is safer here. Just need to start it somehow. So when I update this one, then this one would push as well, and this one would get a short pulse. But I think both would get a short pulse. I would just update it and see what happens. Okay, that happened. And now if I update this one doesn't work again. And now I think if I update this one, it will start, because this pushes and retracts again, and then everything will move. Oh, yes, yes. Hey, wait for me, wait for me. Hey, 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 hey. Ah! Okay. That was tense. Okay, our ender crystal is now flying off. It will get stuck in unloaded chunks. I definitely need to figure out a better way to transport them back. Wow. But I think that's enough stress for now. Let me just take a break and get a better flying machine, get back somehow, get this ender crystal back. Whew. Looks like we caught up to it. I'm not sure if that's now client side or real. I think the other flying machine is way back there. Okay, I guess that's real if it actually gets moved. So it might have glitched out after all. But cool, we just catched it. Okay, and yeah, over there we have, oops, let's switch back to this view. Over there we have the leaves from the first failed attempt. Whew. Okay, goodbye all you other ender crystals. I might come back for you later. What? The ender crystal just disappeared? I'm not sure if that's client side or what. What? And another. Let's stop the flying machine here. And reconnect real quick and hope that it's back then. Oh, it is. Ah, okay, I think the reason it disappeared is that we got so far away from its original position that it didn't render anymore because there's a glitch. Okay, but that gives us a chance to remove the flying machine in front first, so let's go for that. I guess it needed to happen once. But the ender crystal is back in the base, roughly. So I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.